Good morning, gamers. Welcome into the Gamer Shows podcast. I'm your host, Joshua J. Alongside me, Wesley Lance.
Hello.
Today is September 16th, and last Thursday, we had the PlayStation Showcase. So we're going to be talking a lot about the games that they showed in that, which I'm super excited for. But first, football last Thursday. I was off. I said the Cowboys would suck way more than they did. Dak Prescott was really good, and I was wrong.
Way to ruin his prediction, Mr. Prescott.
Yeah, it was a fantastic game to watch, though. I loved that game. It was an amazing opening to the game. I had Tom Brady on my fantasy football team, so I did great. So that was awesome.
Good choice picking the guy who made a deal with the devil. At least you're going to get some imaginary football points.
Hey, it works. I'll take it.
The man is unreal, though. Seriously.
He is fantastic. So tonight, I'm going to choose the Washington football team over the New York Giants. I'll say 28 to 21. I'll say that. So I think there's been a lot of high scoring games so far, unless you were the Green Bay Packers.
Oof.
Rip.
I would just like to point out that I cannot take the New York Giants seriously since I watched the movie Madagascar when I was 8 years old.
All hail the New York Giants.
That's all I think every time I hear them. So it doesn't matter. Yeah. It doesn't matter at this point. That's all I think.
But yeah, I think the Washington football team, I think they'll be good enough to beat the Giants. So we'll see what happens. So let's hop into the coffee of the week.
You got a really small can, so there's like 3 sips of coffee in this mug.
But hey,
I appreciate you buying decaf though, because decaf doesn't get enough love.
Well, and after what happened the other week, where we kind of realized how bad of an addiction we had to caffeine, maybe it's a little good that we have this. So King's Brew Nitro Cold Brew Coffee Decaf Cappuccino. It says shake well. Just so you know, if you do shake it, open over a sink, it went everywhere.
Cool.
So it's like,
It says it's a cappuccino, but this doesn't look like it's got any milk in it.
It doesn't.
Does it have milk in it?
I'm not sure.
It only has 5 calories, and it says it's dairy-free. So does it have any sort of creamer in it? Because cappuccinos, filtered water, decaf coffee.
Looks like we found our roast of the week in the coffee of the week.
Cappuccino flavor concentrate and organic cane sugar. Huh. What is cappuccino flavor? Is that not just coffee?
I don't know.
Okay, well, now I'm intrigued.
Fuel your best day wherever it takes you. Is this our best day?
I don't know. I'm intrigued, though. I've never heard of King's Brew, so.
Knock the mic like crazy.
Good for
Let's
you.
try it.
All right. That's very acidic. Ooh, that's like almost sour.
Low acidity. That's what it says.
That's, I don't like that, actually. That's kind of gross.
I don't think I will finish it.
Oh.
I'm glad I got the smoke.
That tastes really, is this in date? Like, that's not good. Yeah, December 20. Well, Best by 12/24/2020.
Wow.
So I don't know where you bought that, but that's out of date.
Bought at my local Martin's.
Way to go, Martin's. Roast of the week this week, Martin's Supermarket stocking what is it? It's September. 9-month-old coffee past its. So that might be why it's bad.
Yep.
Okay, so scoring this week is going to be skewed. Definitely not fair to King's Brew, but I got to say, if you drink it when it's 9 months out of date, 2 out of 10.
1.
That's nasty.
This is our first.
I think
it's our first one.
I think it's still better than the Java Monster.
No, you get Java like a 5.
No, it's not. It's not worse than the Java Monster. That's nasty.
That is half a point.
One time, okay, so we're gonna actually have to try King's Brew sometime when it's in date. To be fair, because that is nasty. So
I don't even want to accidentally sip it.
Good to know that canned coffee can indeed go bad because that tastes like pickle juice.
It was rough.
I feel bad that that's our coffee this week now. I'm like, way to go us. We're going to review an out-of-date coffee.
It makes me sad.
I know, because I enjoy the coffee every time we have it.
This is why you don't try decaf, everyone.
No,
we tried
do not blame the decaf.
You need to be caffeinated. Be addicted to the coffee.
Next week, I'm actually going to try to have coffee from like a local roastery. Like I talked about the farmer's market. I'm going to try to get to the farmer's market this week. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll see. But hopefully we'll have something that's like really, really different and unique. But if you're going to buy this.
That was different. I've never heard of them. And I'm never going to probably.
If you're going to buy this, make sure it's in date. Check the date.
Holy crap.
Wow. That's terrible. Okay.
Moving on to the roast of the week.
Yeah, well, I guess I could make it easy and just say Martin's for stocking 9-month-old coffee and selling it to consumers. What? Well, how did that even get past the radar? But no, I'm going to go back to roasting myself this week because if you'll recall last week, I went on a little bit of a tirade about, I went on a lot of tirades last week, actually, as I was listening to it. I was really angry. I don't know why. But I went on one of the tirades I went on was pumpkin spice latte and how apparently the caramel coloring was allegedly a carcinogen. That was a Facebook meme apparently that I just had heard secondhand and thought was true because I just hear facts and I run with it.
Yay,
I hear half a fact and I run with it. I definitely looked that up afterwards and Snopes kind of debunked it. The FDA says that the caramel coloring used specifically in the Starbucks pumpkin spice latte has not been linked to any sort of cancer. So Wes, fact check yourself before you're going to slam a multi-million-dollar corporation that literally could not care less whether or not you hate them or not. So it didn't make a difference. But roast on me, I really, really should have fact checked that. I just kind of assumed that anything that color orange probably wasn't that good for you. But now I feel like I got to go buy a pumpkin spice latte to make penance. I still don't want to pay. Sorry. I still don't want to pay $5 for a PSL, but I don't know.
What?
They abbreviate it to PSL. Have you noticed? Whenever they do adverts, it's PSL.
Can we roast them for having to?
PSL sounds like a medical condition.
Donate. Are you suffering from PSL? Call the 1-800 number on the
screen.
You
or a loved one may be entitled to financial compensation.
We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
And a free free PSL with your car's extended warranty.
Oh gosh. So, all right.
Oh my.
No, I'm cool with that. Roasting yourself.
Way to go, Wes. I just try to keep myself humble because it's easy to get high and mighty when you're roasting something every week. And then it's easy to remember that we are all fallible human beings in this mortal plane.
Some more fallible than others.
I don't know what you mean by that.
More people fail than other people. Some people are successful, like Elon Musk. Other people fail, and that's okay. Moving on.
Now I'm depressed. Thanks.
Hey, it's the decaf coffee.
I don't even have coffee to cheer me up because you poured me a cup of pickle juice.
No.
Pickled coffee beans. That's what it tastes like.
Oh,
if you made coffee beans with vinegar, if you made coffee with vinegar, that's what this expired King's Brew tastes like.
It was bad.
It was terrible. Wow.
Anyway.
Yes. So also real quick, I don't want to spend a ton of time on this because A, I am not a legal expert, and B, I honestly don't have my mind super wrapped around it, but it's a big gaming headline. I feel like as a gaming news podcast, we should at least mention it. For those of you who've been following gaming news, you've probably heard about the Apple Epic lawsuit. Apple and Epic Games have been fighting a legal battle over a lot of complex issues, but essentially Epic was making the claim that Apple was monopolizing commission because they were forbidding app makers from allowing consumers to make in-app purchases through other systems. They had to use Apple's system, and Apple collected a 30% commission on all purchases made through that system. So Apple took them to court, Epic took them to court. They actually what happened was Epic broke their contract with Apple by allowing Fortnite players on iOS to make purchases through the Epic Game Store or Epic Games' system. And Apple banned Fortnite from the iOS store. So there was a hashtag campaign, hashtag free Fortnite, all of this stuff, and they went to court over it. So the judge, it was a mixed ruling. So the judge didn't rule in favor of either one. Essentially, they ruled that Apple cannot ban app makers from using their own system to make in-app purchases. But they also ruled that Apple is not a monopoly, and therefore they cannot be hit with an antitrust law. So Apple got a lot more wins out of it than Epic did. I think Apple can still draw commission on in-app purchases even if it's not made through their system. Again, I'm not going to make any hard and fast claims on this because I'm not a lawyer. I don't really understand a lot of legal stuff. I don't want to make claims that I'm not making, but I wanted to give kind of a basic summary. We'll link an NPR article that goes through it in much more detail in the description, but it's kind of a big thing. It's the first time, well, not the first time. I'm sure people have probably come at Apple with antitrust law before, but it's a weird cross between, and also Fortnite brought it on of all things.
Epic is huge though.
Yeah.
That's the thing. The Epic is one that could actually attack Apple over this. No one else can do that. No one else is big enough to go, we're going to take this head on because Apple is such a big market.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Apple is overpriced, overrated, and it drives me nuts that people fangirl over it so much. But you know,
they're still doing well.
They are, and they make great cameras that you can call from. So they got that going for you.
Wow. If they build the iPhone as a camera you could make phone calls from, people would lose their minds.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? if they made a camera that you could make calls from, they'd be like, you don't need a phone anymore. And it would just be the iPhone.
They could sell Apple, or they could sell bananas and just put their Apple logo on it and be like, it's an Apple banana. And people would buy it because they'd be like, it has to be better than normal bananas.
The Babble.
Babble. Do you got a Babble yet?
One of the biggest things, one of the weirdest things from this lawsuit was during the time that Epic was allowing Fortnite players to make purchases through their own system, they made some obscene amount of money. It was like $30 million or something for a couple months. And the judge ruled, once the judge ruled that they had broken their contract, the judge ruled that they had to pay 30% of that money back because that's what the commission that Apple would have taken if they had used the Apple in-app purchases system. So it was just a weird, like, they're going to have to pay a bunch of money back for that period of time.
And that's the thing is, I hate Apple. I dislike the way that it seems like they are ran. However, there was a contract, and if Epic truly did break the contract, there has to be consequences. Don't accept the contract if you're not going to follow by the laws of it. It might be a stupid contract, but you signed the contract. That's on you. Moving forward, now they can go ahead and say, you know what, we're not going to have it on iOS, and you're just going to miss out on this crap load of money that you could have had if you allowed our game on there.
Fortnite is a big deal. Yeah.
So it's a tough situation.
Again, don't want to get into all of the details. Try to find some actual legal sources for this, but I wanted to bring it to people's attention. So enough about the boring grown-up stuff.
So hopping into games.
Yay!
The PlayStation Showcase.
Oh my word. The FOMO is real. And I will continue to feel FOMO for a very long time because I still am not going to be able to upgrade. And I say this every stinking week.
But that's the thing. A lot of people still don't have PlayStation 5s or Xbox Series S's and X.
Yeah,
they're just so hard to find. It's really a big bummer. A lot of it having to do with the COVID pandemic and not being able to get them in stores.
Yeah.
And so then scalpers could do what they do. That being said, though, they do have a lot of cool games coming out in the next, even slated through 2023, 2024, 2025, essentially, games. And I sat down to watch it, and oh my gosh, it blew me away.
Yeah.
Especially the very first opening one. If you want to watch it yourself, then click out of this now and come back after you watch it to finish up with us.
It's literally the first announcement. So it won't take, and it's like a 30-second trailer. So spoiler warning.
Yeah, you've been warned. Knights of the Old Republic.
I've always wanted to play this game.
Like,
I hear people talk about it all the time.
They opened up with this, and I lost it, man. I was like, let's go.
You called me. I was in the middle of a nap, and I hung up on you because I was like, I don't want to talk right now. I'm sleeping.
I know.
And you're like, watch the video.
It was so cool just knowing that they're going to bring it back. Because I played a little bit of it. I didn't play a lot because it came out when I was younger. So I didn't quite grasp the concept of it. It was a little bit too much for me at the time. But I went through and watched some people's playthroughs of it. And it's really mind-boggling for the time that it was then to be able to do what they did. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
And for those of you wondering kind of what it is, I have an article, I'll link in the description below, from StarWars.com. It says Knights of the Old Republic is part of a legend storytelling that dials the Star Wars clock back to over 4,000 years before the Skywalker saga.
Wow.
The Galactic Republic is at its height and has just been through a major war. Jedi are plentiful, but so are the Sith, and the evil Darth Malak leads a growing legion of dark warriors. Players will go on an epic adventure and along the way visit different worlds, amass a party of memorable beings, and uncover their own mysterious past. Now, I started looking into it, and the fact that it's a remake and not just a remaster is super exciting.
So it's a ground up, like it's gonna be different.
Yeah, from the ground up, they're making it new. Now, they might still have some of the same plot lines and things like that, but it's not like they're just going to enhance graphics. And I mean, they're remaking this entire game, which is super exciting. Where is, I can't find his name now.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. Okay, the executive producer at Lucasfilms Games, Orion Kellogg. I couldn't remember his last name, and I really wanted to find it.
His name is Kellogg. Just think cereal.
I know. I'm sorry. I couldn't think of it. But he said, sorry, I lost my place again. It's so hard.
This is a
to find
very
it.
long article.
It really was. And you guys got to go read it because there's a lot to it. But he says, quote, "It's telling a story that should feel very familiar and authentic to Star Wars fans. It tells stories about light and dark, about heroes and the journeys that common people can go on to become heroes and figure out who they are." And he explained his reason behind all of this. He said, "I was a big RPG fan growing up, and I started on the Apple LLC and played the BioWare games. It wasn't until I started playing Knights of the Old Republic that I really understood how cinematic they could be. When I first put on Knights of the Old Republic and saw that the camera was pulled down to ground level and I could look up at the skyscrapers of Terrace, I really felt that I'd been put into the world in a way that I'd never been before. The characters were speaking to me in full voiceover and reacting to my choices, whether I was going to the light side or to the dark side. It felt like a paradigm shift." So he continues on to explain how that, like, when he was young, he got a Game Boy. And he was like, this is so cool. And he realized he wanted to do that with his life, is create games. And then he got to play Star Wars, which he loved. For when he saw the Star Wars movie, he loved like the story of it, the storytelling. So he was like, it was like they merged for him. And really, we all have those stories of Star Wars in our lives, you know, of that, at least if you like Star Wars. I mean, if you don't.
I was going to say, I never really got into Star Wars too terribly much.
See, for me, I did. I have memories of playing different Star Wars games and watching the Star Wars movies and just the light, the dark, you know, and that the story that they have to tell, it's just fantastic. And so I'm really excited for this game. I'm over the moon hyped about this game.
Yeah, I can tell. I have heard a lot of people talk about it. I actually know next to nothing about it. It's always been one that I've wanted to play. I've never had a chance to, because was that PS1 or PS2?
Oh, goodness. I can't remember. I think it was Xbox.
Was it Xbox exclusive?
I'm not sure. Keep going. I'm going to look.
Because the only retro consoles that I own have been Nintendo consoles. The oldest non-Nintendo console I own is a Sega Genesis. I might be able to find a PS2 for fairly cheap, though. A friend of mine is having a rummage sale, and he mentioned somebody brought in a couple. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have a PS2 and I can play some PS2 games. But I've never been able to play it. So I understand why this is a big deal, but it doesn't have that impact to me, just because I didn't grow up with it. But I understand kind of why people are so up in arms. Like, it would be similar to if Paper Mario: The 1,000-Year Door got a ground-up remake. Like, that would be pretty incredible. So if or when I get around to upgrading, I'll probably pick it up if I get around to. This is probably PS5 exclusive, right?
Yeah. A lot of people are upset about that.
If I get to PS5, I probably will pick this up because it's just kind of one of those games that I feel like you kind of have to play. But yeah, it didn't carry the same level but I'm excited for everyone. I'm excited that everyone else is excited. I'm happy that other people are happy. So that's nice. It's nice to have some news that makes people happy instead of news that makes people enraged. But yeah, that's all I have to say about it.
From what I could find, I think it said it was released on the original Xbox and then on PC, but not on PlayStation.
Huh.
And a lot of that had to do because it was a PC game.
How the turntables turn. I wonder if it's on Steam.
I'm not sure.
If it's on Steam, it's old enough that
I don't think it's PS5 exclusive for long. I think it starts as a PS5 exclusive, and
kind of like
then
Deathloop.
Yeah,
Deathloop is coming out on PC eventually.
Well, and I think it's coming out on Xbox eventually as well.
So I was talking about the original KOTOR being on Steam.
The original. I have no idea if it's on Steam or not.
Because if it's old enough, my PC, my little dinky laptop might be able to run it. So I might be able to play it.
Hey,
I'll keep you posted.
So, but yeah, that game was the first one of that they showed, and I got super hyped for it. But we have plenty of games. What was one that you had seen that you really liked?
The first one that really caught my eye is called Tchia. I wasn't actually able to listen to it with sound on, and they said her name, but it looks actually really cool. So it looks like a combination of Wind Waker style graphics, Breath of the Wild gameplay, and the story of Moana. It's set. I'm gonna pull up the summary here. It's made by a smaller developer. It's inspired by New Caledonia, so it's an island culture. It has a lot of characters. I don't mean this in a negative or in a like not demeaning way. It has a lot of non-white characters, a lot of representation that we don't get to see. And I think that's really cool. It's a culture that we're not aware of normally. I like seeing things that are different. And this game looks gorgeous. It's sort of, I'm going to play the music. It's sort of cell shaded kind of, but not, no, it's more cartoony. And it just looks, I don't know, it looks really fun. It looks very exploration based. I love seafaring gameplay. That's why Wind Waker is one of my favorite Zelda games. It's like that and Breath of the Wild are at the tip top. And it just looks unique. I love things that have an identity. That's one of my biggest frustrations with a lot of FPS games is they're very interchangeable. That's why I love indie games, because oftentimes when you look at an indie game, you know what you're looking at. You look at Cuphead, you know you're looking at Cuphead. You look at Hollow Knight, you know you're looking at Hollow Knight. Tchia looks to be one of those games. So a lot of good representation, a lot of good. It looks like it's going to have a lot of fun gameplay. It looks like it's going to be kind of a not necessarily a casual game, but kind of a non-stressful sort of, looks like Tchia can like shapeshift and transform into different creatures as she explores.
It seems like we get a lot of those, like where you can go into different, like more of like the exploration type, like you're saying.
Yeah, we got a lot of. We do have
like
a lot of.
It looks like a lot of indie games. You know what I mean? Where you are, you are an animal or can turn into an animal.
Yeah, kind of like an Okami sort of.
Yeah, I mean it looks interesting. Don't get me wrong. I saw the trailer and it looks like something I will never play.
Oh no, I can tell.
But it's
the tone of your voice when you first started talking told me everything I needed to know.
It just it looks. It looks cool for the audience that I know is going to be there.
Yeah.
Personally, I'll never play it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just won't. However, it's really cool because like you're saying, it really speaks to you and that's what you like to play. And the fact that they're coming out with games for literally everybody, no matter what type of games you like, you know, I mean, I'm a Battlefield guy. I like Battlefield. You know, those are first-person shooters are my type of game. Mm-hmm. So for me, that's where I'm drawn to, or open world RPGs, and that does interest me in the fact of it being looks like it's open world, looks like you could explore.
It's fairly exploration based from what little I saw from the trailer.
Like I would turn into a seagle and I'd fly all the way around the world that I could and just check it out. Like to me, that'd be cool. That's all I would do. I would just fly. But the story just doesn't interest me at all, personally. But
you can play the ukulele though. Like, it's really giving me Wind Waker vibes. That's what got me so excited, because the first scene is...
It looks like you have to know how to play. Like, you have to choose the chords.
Yeah, you hit the chords.
But what
I
if
think
I
that
don't
sounds
know
really
the
cool.
chords?
It just was giving me Wind Waker vibes the moment I opened it. I started the trailer. She pulls out the ukulele, and there's a menu. I was like, you can play the ukulele in the same way that you can conduct invisible instruments in Wind Waker. It's amazing. Sorry. As you can tell, he was very excited about KOTOR. We're like on opposite ends of the spectrum today.
Hey, but let's get it.
Yeah.
I like it. You know, and that's the thing. It like I said, different audiences, man.
Yeah.
So, anything else on that one? Or
No, that's all I had to say about that one.
And we're going right back to what I type of like, the type of games I like. Insomniac. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, they're blowing the roof off of this place. They have released, they killed it with Spider-Man, and they killed it with Spider-Man Miles Morales. And now they're introducing Spider-Man 2, which is going to be phenomenal because they did great with the first one and then with Morales. Then they did great with God of War, like amazing. And now they're trying to make God of War Ragnarok. And on top of all of that,
oh yeah,
they're bringing a Wolverine game. I am so excited.
I wonder if they're going to go the route. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good.
I wonder if they're going to take the route that Logan did and go for like the more gritty, because Wolverine's a grittier character. Like, he's never really fit into Marvel's overall fairly, like, Marvel's not mainly post Disney acquisition. Marvel has been pretty squeaky clean as far as their heroes. They've gotten into a little bit of muddy water, but they've still kept it pretty basic. Wolverine's never really been that.
Well, did you see the trailer?
I didn't.
Oh, gosh. So the trailer opens up, and there's a dude sitting at a bar drinking, and there's a bunch of dead people all around him. Then there's one guy that stands up and pulls out a knife and starts walking, and you just see like the fist, on the table, and then it's just shoot, and it's Wolverine, and then it cuts. And it's like, just the way it looks story-based, and it looks like it's going to be more of a mature audience that it shoots for. And I am very excited for that, because that's what, like you said, Wolverine is he's just, it's dark and it's
edgy.
Yeah, man. And
He's the Shadow the Hedgehog to Captain America's Sonic. And that is the stupidest comparison I've ever made in my life.
Gosh. Roast of the week next week. No.
Yeah.
But I'm just so excited, man, slicing people's chest cavities open and ripping their throats out. Like, oh my gosh, Wolverine.
I like how I was excited about a cartoony, cel-shaded game about a little girl who explores different islands, and you're like, death, murder,
death and destruction.
blood.
And this is with a decaf crap coffee.
Yeah, that. See, that immediately turned me off. I don't like that. I don't like the over the top gore. So one of the games that I was looking at as I was scrolling through the recap was Bloodlines, which looked really cool. I don't want to get on a different tangent. It looked really cool, but I would never play it for that same reason of just it's like a Devil May Cry sort of.
Yeah.
Slicing people's head off, no more heroes, blood everywhere. I don't know. That's never been my thing. I don't mind, I don't mind a little bit of blood and gore, because I understand that that's part of the stories you're telling. But when it's that up close and personal sort of stuff,
yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for it. I'm ready to just go all out on it.
I'm sure you are.
But Insomniac, keeping with them, with the Spider-Man 2, I watching that, it's all about the symbiote suit and like Venom.
Ooh.
And it looks like there's a hint of co-op.
Interesting.
Between the two Spider-Mans.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
So I'm not sure how that's all going to work out, but it's just a trailer. It's coming, I think they said 2023.
Can I tell you one of my favorite details about Thor, or I almost said Thor Ragnarok, God of War Ragnarok?
What?
The render of Thor looks like it's straight up based on Bro Thor from Avengers Endgame. Because it's based more on the actual mythological description of Thor.
Right.
Which does not look like Marvel's Thor, because he has a really big appetite and he drinks a lot, so he's a little chubby. And then this guy comes out and he's got like crazy red hair and a big discount beard, and he's kind of heavy. And I was like, oh my word. I know that they're basing it off of the mythology, but it definitely looks straight up like Avengers Thor, Endgame Thor.
Dude, I'm excited for God of War Ragnarok. When he showed up with that, oh my gosh. And I like how there's between Kratos and his son, there's this dynamic of them going back, and then his son's like, maybe that's what mom wants, and he goes, don't tell me what she wanted, or don't tell me what mom wants. I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is so
stupid
good.
Brit.
Boy. No, I'm super excited, and Insomniac, you're amazing. Keep doing what you're doing. It's blowing my mind the fact that they're going to be able to make all these, if they all can hit, which I truly believe they can.
Man, they started out with Spyro the Dragon and then just kept going from there. So pretty much everything they've produced has been a hit. They've
given me no reason to doubt them yet. Hopefully they never do.
Make Spyro 4. Crash got a fourth game. Sorry. Crash got a fourth game after his remastered trilogy.
But just after they made Spider-Man, and then right after that was Spider-Man Miles Morales, I was like, okay, how good is this really going to be?
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, maybe I should pick it up for PS4. I kind of didn't. I haven't bought any of the cross-gen games because it would feel like I'm playing a lesser version of a product that I could have elsewhere. So I haven't bought any PS5/PS4 games yet. But maybe Miles Morales would be the one that I would pick up.
Yeah, they just hit it out of the park every time. So I'm really excited about it. I think they're gonna hit it out of the park with every single one that they come with.
Yeah, probably.
So, all right.
Yeah. So next game is not one that I normally would find myself gravitating to. I'm still not sure when I upgrade, if I would be buying this one, but it just intrigued me. Ghostwire Tokyo. It looks incredibly dark. It almost kind of looks like not a horror game, but like a thriller sort of game. The plot intrigued me. Basically, this mist overwhelms Tokyo and the entire populace disappears, except for your character. And there's this group of masked individuals that has taken over, and you have to fight back against all of these creatures from the mist. And from the trailer, it looked as if your character starts out incredibly weak. Like, it just looks like a normal guy. And then by the end of it, he becomes incredibly powerful because he's learned to fight back. And I love games that let you build up like that. That's one of the things that people have said Metroid Prime is really good at, is like making you feel powerless and then making you feel like you've been building up throughout the entire game. I love it when games do that. So this looks like it kind of is going to go that direction. Like, you start out fighting for your life against these horrible creatures, and then eventually you're able to take them out. And again, I love games with identity, and this looks like it's got identity. The creatures don't look like anything else I've seen. It doesn't look like your traditional like horror game, because it's not just zombies or vampires or whatever. These look, a couple of them, I'm not super well versed in Japanese mythology, but a couple of them look like creatures that I think could be based on Japanese mythology. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not going to make any hard and fast claims on that, but it just looked like it had some real gumption and real identity, and they nailed something. So I would be excited to see where that went. That might be another one that I might pick. It's definitely out of my normal wheelhouse. I don't normally play games like that. I was going to say,
is this something that you would actually want to play? Is this something
I'm not sure, because I don't like scary games. One of the reasons I play games is to relax. And the whole point of horror games is to not let you relax. So,
well, hey, this coming October, don't quote me on it, but if everything works out, I'm going to be recording House of Ashes. So if you'd like to come and play,
is that the one by the makers of Until Dawn?
Yes.
Oh.
It's not. So it's weird, the differences in it. So there's Until Dawn, and then there's the
there's a prequel, isn't there?
Well, Until Dawn is the main game that kind of set this all in motion. But then they decided to make 10 smaller games.
10?
Yeah. So let's look this up real quick.
I will say, if we were...
So the Dark Pictures Anthology, that's what I was going to say.
Right.
So the Dark Pictures Anthology has come out with... this I think is their third that they've come out with so far in this grouping.
Gotcha.
So the first two were okay, but they weren't Until Dawn level of intriguingness.
Yeah.
And I mean, Until Dawn had some actual like movie actors, and which the others might have as well. I don't know.
I don't know. From what little I know of Until Dawn, I have very little interest in it. That got a little too dark and satanic for me from what I understood. It could be fun to play together.
Yeah, it's one of those games where you sit down with friends and you play through it. The Dark Pictures Anthology is definitely a lot less that. So far, the first two, if you haven't played it, spoilers, but first two have had scientific explanations behind them. The first one, there was gas on a ship, and that's what gave them hallucinations. The second one, the man was actually crazy and was regretting a lot of his past life. And so that was coming back to haunt him. So it was all in his head. So, which I personally don't like. I like the supernatural aspect of Until Dawn that they had. Then, and Until Dawn wasn't necessarily satanic. Like, they had a Ouija board that they played. It was a small section, but there really wasn't anything with it. It was mainly like about the Wendigo. So with the whole Native American legend of the Wendigo, and it was really, really good. So I'm hoping House of Ashes can kind of bring that back. It's an interesting take. You're a soldier, and so I'm interested to see how that goes.
That could be fun.
So but I'm excited. So I'm going to stream that. There is a lot of language in that. So just fair warning. On the streams that we have, so we don't cuss on the podcast. That's one thing we don't do. On the streams we have games cuss. That's just the matter of it.
That's the industry.
It is what it is. So there will be that. That being said, I'm really looking forward to playing through that.
But in answer to your question, I don't normally play games like horror games. I think what intrigued me about Ghostwire Tokyo is it's more of an action horror game. So it's not necessarily that, like in Silent Hill, there's not much you can do. You explore and you get attacked.
Jump scares.
This seems to be a little bit more of there are creatures, but you can fight back. So, and I'm intrigued by the story. I just think it sounds very interesting, the idea of this mist overwhelming the city. So I don't know. It would be different for me, but I might, if I get around to upgrading sometime in the next 8 years, I might pick it up.
What's the what's the release date for that?
I don't know that there was one announced. I'm looking through
because there's a lot of games slated for October this year. Oh my gosh!
In 2022, it's a 2022 release.
Dang it!
Yeah.
But yeah, there is a lot of games slated for this October that is I'm super excited for. So, is that all you had to say on that one?
That's it.
So I mean, there's a lot of games coming up. I'm super hyped for it. There was so many more that we didn't even get into. I mean, they showed the Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Gran Turismo. I mean, they showed a lot of this could be a roast. GTA 5. Still making
again?
Yes. GTA 5's online now coming to PS5 in March 2020.
Rockstar, how on earth do you keep dropping the ball on this?
They are like, we're going to kick this dead horse and just keep on kicking it because apparently it's still giving them something.
Man, this is worse than Bethesda.
But people want it. People play it. I don't get it. I don't understand.
How can the same studio that comes out with Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2 also be milking Grand Theft Auto 5 this hard?
Because people are
just make GTA 6 at this point.
You would think. But
what on earth?
They also showed more of Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Extraction, which looks interesting. It's not my cup of tea. I might hop into it or something if they have it on Game Pass. The stylish action Project Eve looked interesting.
I didn't take a look. This one, the name intrigued me, but I never actually took a look at it.
Yeah, that one looked really interesting. Then you have more of a Borderlands style, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. So there's a lot coming, and a lot that was showed on that showcase. That I'm glad PlayStation finally did it. It got me hyped up, made me glad that I have a PS5. I haven't really played much of it recently. I've been playing so much of the Series X because I have Game Pass, but I don't know. It made me excited that I have one. I'm looking forward to the games coming up in the future. I don't have enough money for all of them, but I'm going to try to buy as many as I can. And I just hope everything that's on both systems goes to Game Pass so that I don't have to worry about it.
That's not going to happen.
All
PlayStation has at this point is exclusives.
Yeah.
That's the only reason to buy a PS5 over an Xbox at this point.
But they're exclusives.
Yeah, their exclusives
Knights
are
of the Old
amazing.
Republic, Spider-Man 2, God of War Ragnarok. I mean, right there. And Insomniac is their exclusives, which I know.
Do you think Sony would
Knights of
buy
the Old Republic
Insomniac the same way Microsoft bought Bethesda? Because that would be interesting.
Oh man. Well, I mean, they don't really need to if some of their games are already slated for PlayStation 5 only. But
I just think it's weird because Insomniac feels like the Bethesda
right.
It feels like the PlayStation Bethesda a little bit. But they're almost a second party developer at this point.
And then Wolverine. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. I mean, those 3 games, and then on top of it, like I said, you got Knights of the Old Republic coming to the PlayStation 5 first. I don't know. I'm excited, and it's a timeline, But the good thing is I'd almost rather it come out later in the lifespan of the PlayStation 5, so they can use all of it to their advantage.
Yeah.
Rather than it be coming out for both systems, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, the end of this year or beginning of next year.
Well, and whenever you've got a new system, the first games never take advantage of the hardware.
Right.
Like it's always the games later into the system's life cycle that like actually take advantage of the hardware. Because like the original Shadow of the Colossus was a PlayStation 2 game, for crying out loud. And it was enormous, but they knew how to use the hardware.
Well, same with Last of Us Part 2. That came out on PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
But it looks like it was a PlayStation 5 beginning title.
Like Final Fantasy VII Remake, exact same way.
So the games that come at the end of the PlayStation 5 lifespan in the next 8 years is going to make your jaw drop, mine explode. I'm super hyped, especially when they come out with the PSVR 2.
Oh yeah,
I'm
your mind will literally explode because when you get shot in the head, the PSVR will go.
Hey, yes, haptic feedback. Let's get it. Oh man, I'm super excited for that. So, well, we hope you guys have enjoyed listening to us ramble on about the PlayStation 5 showcase.
Yep.
It's been a lot of fun for us. We love doing this show. Sticking around with the whole sour pickle coffee.
Oh boy, that is rank. That is disgusting.
Never get decaf.
You just spilled coffee all over.
I've spilled drops. And with that, we'll drink more coffee, not decaf. Watch football. Enjoy fall time. Say what? You're interrupting my outro.
Yeah, I am interrupting your outro because you're trashing decaf. Decaf is fine as long as it's in date, Martins. Anyway.
Decaf sucks. Drink caffeinated coffee. Drink lots of espresso. We'll see you guys next Thursday. Have a good one, guys.